I wanted to write this sooner than I expected, but only got up the courage now. I married my wife about 5 years ago. I always saw her as a caring, loving person who was always concerned about me, but when everything happened, she showed herself to be a completely different person. I don't know if she pretended to be that way because of our marriage. After 1 year of marriage, we had a daughter She is absolutely the love of my life. I adore her. My wife and I have always loved children, so having a daughter was like a blessing to our newly formed family. Fast forward to the future, the pandemic caused me to lose my job. My wife continued to work in an office while I did jobs anywhere possible, as my wife and I fought regularly because of this. One of these fights led to her slapping me in front of our daughter, which probably made her uncomfortable, but she didn't understand about these things, so I guess she must not even remember it. My wife always reminded me that I didn't have a job and our marriage was getting worse and worse. In a brief context, I didn't finish high school. This, at least in my country, makes it very difficult for me to find a stable job. I had tried to get a job in several places, but it never worked out. So 2 days ago, I came home early after helping to make some deliveries for extra money. I entered the house, only to see a scene that simply never left my mind. My wife was there, in the kitchen, having sex with a guy from her office. She saw me staring at the scene, completely unresponsive. She screamed in horror at the sight of me. I just wanted to walk over there and kill that guy, but I somehow managed to keep calm. I left the house, with my wife's car keys in my hand, since I don't have a car and needed to pick up my daughter from school. She came out of the house a few minutes later, with messy hair, tired and with red cheeks. She was probably having sex with that guy all afternoon. She looked at me, crying, telling me that she loved me and that she was sorry. I didn't know what to say. The only thing I could ask her was, "How long have you been doing this?" Which she replied, "Please." This was the first time. I didn't know what I was thinking. It was a lie. I wanted to believe her, but I couldn't. I got into the car without saying another word, driving to my daughter's school and picking her up. I needed to relax, so I just drove to some fast food place and bought us snacks. For a few seconds, while I was eating with my daughter, I forgot what had happened. After spending an hour with my daughter, my wife texted me, saying that she loved me and was very sorry for what she had done, and that she was at a friend's house in the office so that she could relax. I didn't answer anything. I drove home, only to find that guy sitting on the sidewalk, looking down. I got out of the car and put my daughter to sleep in our former house, then got out of it. I just watched him turn around, crying, saying that he didn't know she was married. I asked him to explain and he said that she basically lied to him. He told me that she said that she was single, and that her ex-husband lived in another state, and her daughter lived with her. He told me they never had sex in the bedroom, and that she always wanted this on the living room or the kitchen. That is why they never had sex there, since that is the only place where there were pictures of me and her together, and if he found out, he would probably freak out and stop to hook up with her. I asked him the same question I asked to my wife, "How long have you been doing this?" And he answered that they had been having this affair for 3 months. I didn't know what to say. I stopped feeling my body completely. I've never been so devastated in my entire life. I told him to go home, but he told me that he didn't have a car and that my wife brought him to my former house, and she was the one who drove him home. I felt a little remorse from him. Maybe he was telling the truth. Maybe he was truly sorry. I gave him a ride to his house, but we didn't talk the whole way. When we got there, I asked him if he had anyone, if he was in a relationship. He replied that he had a girlfriend. I told him to tell her everything that happened, to protect him, her, and their relationship. I said that she would probably freak out, but remembered him that he simply wouldn't be able to continue a relationship knowing that he cheated on his girlfriend. I said that, in the end, it was his decision to tell her or not. He just agreed and got out of the car. After that, I came home to keep my daughter company. I have never been so devastated and destroyed in my entire life, and I have never cried as much as I have in the last 2 days. Now I can't think of anything else but protecting my daughter. I don't want to see that woman again in my entire life. and I hope to get a lawyer as soon as possible so that I can get a divorce. I will try to post updates whenever I can. And thank you for reading. I needed to get this off my chest and didn't want to tell my brother, who is the only person in the family that lives in my state. Also, sorry for any mistakes. I am not an English native speaker, so it is very difficult for me to write anything in this language, but I tried my best. Thanks, add it. Since there's a bit of people confused, I did not let my daughter alone at home when I arrived the guy to his house. I called my brother to keep an eye on her. I just felt bad for the guy. Maybe he was sorry, I dunno. Add it too. So, yeah, I felt like I needed to do this edit because there are many people talking about the fact that I drove the guy to his home. I felt bad for him. Deep in my heart I felt truly sorry for him, so I just felt I needed to do this. And yeah, looking back, it was a parenting neglect. Even if my brother was taking care of her, I shouldn't have done this, and this will probably have a lot of effect on the divorce case. Thanks for all the comments. We'll probably send update soon. Update, I just wanted to give all a quick update on what has been going on. Right now I am already contacting a lawyer about what all happened, and he said that my situation it is not so good and that I will never get 100 of my daughter's custody, and the best option is to try to get a 50-50 custody, which I accepted immediately. I want my daughter to still see her mom, because that could be too traumatic for her to handle, her mom just disappearing from her life like that. Thanks for reading my comments, and I will stop editing this post, because I don't know if Reddit has a character limit on these posts, so if anything new comes up, I will update in another post. And BT, thanks all for the kind words and comments. I felt really appreciated, and all those advices helped me a lot. Thanks all. Farewell, Semper Fi.